playing at a very high level. For more on the defensive side, Kelsey Riggs is the third member of our crew. Kels?
Well, guys, when we talked to Randy this week, he told us that heading into this season, he had no idea what type of defense he would have. They had lost some key pieces. What he ended up with is a top 10 defense. As you guys mentioned, Jalen Twyman, a big part of that, but so is Patrick Jones. He's a guy who was 5th on the depth chart heading into this season, now a key part of this defense up front. Keep an eye on the secondary in the first half, though. They're without one of their leaders, Paris Ford, as he has to sit out the first half after a targeting call last week.
Yeah, thanks, Kels. Paris Ford, the All-American candidate, so we'll see if Boston College can take advantage. Pitt won the toss. They will defer to the second half. Alex Kessman puts toe to leather, and we're underway here in Pittsburgh. Travis Levy will take a knee in the end zone, and we'll get a chance to see Boston College offensively first out.
Yeah, and Boston College is going to be playing with backup from the beginning of the season, Dennis Grosel. He's a guy that came in after Anthony Brown got hurt after 6 games. He played sparingly in certain games that were blowouts, but really his first real action was as a starter, and he's had some ups and downs, and this offense has been so relying on the run game that he's had some sort of safety blanket with A.J. Dillon in the backfield.
There's Dillon, number 2, lined up in the backfield. Fake to Dillon. It's going to Grosel's going to throw. Rolling out. He's going to keep it. He'll pick up about 4 on first down. Salim Brightwell was there to make the stop for this vaunted Pitt defense, a defense that, is you and Kelsey were talking about early, kind of a no-name defense early on. They lost 10 players, 6 starters from the 2018 unit, and they've just reloaded.
Yeah, they have reloaded, and they've been doing really, really well. And strong plays up front like that one right there. And that's a guy we mentioned early, Patrick Jones. When you look at this defensive front, probably their 2 best guys they thought coming in to this season were going to be Rashad Weaver and Keyshawn Camp. You don't see either of those guys, both out with injuries, but guys like Patrick Jones have really stepped up.
3rd and long. This is when Pitt feasts and Boston College struggles. Grosel, the pass. Steps up. Tripped up before he gets to the first down marker. Damar Hamlin coming up from the safety spot, dropping him short. It'll bring up 4th down.
That's exactly what Pitt's defense wants to do. They set up that 3rd and long, and they didn't bring pressure on that first 3rd down. Usually they do, but the coverage was good enough in the back end that forced Dennis Grosel to tuck the ball down. He almost picked up the first down, but good play by Hamlin, the senior, on the back end.
Pitt forces a 3 and out. Boston College's first possession. Grant Carlson with a low line drive forces Barzell to his 18. John Barzell makes the catch on the punt. It's about 3 or 4 yards after a 46-yard kick by Grant Carlson. Kenny Pickett, second-year starter for this Pitt Panther team, is a little bit of an up-and-down season. Looks like the stock market right there. Fortunately for him, his last game was his worst game. Yeah, well, this offense and Mark Whipple, they're invested in Kenny Pickett, and that plummet at the end of that is not good. It's a sell-off. That's a sell-off, but you know, I think the reason why that's such a drastic decline is he probably had his best game the week before, and you go from your best performance versus UNC to last week versus Virginia Tech. He had an abysmal quarterback rating of 5. Which is the lowest in the ACC throughout this entire season. Good thing is a sell-off, it gives you a buying opportunity, and maybe that's what it is this week for this Pitt Panther team. Maurice French makes a man miss. Gets right to that first down marker. Elijah Jones brings him down, but it looks like Pitt's going to pick up a first down. Yeah, welcome back, Maurice French. He has been chopping at the bit to get back. He had an injury earlier in the year, missed a couple games, missed last week. Said he could have possibly come back last week, but wanted to wait another. You saw his ability to run, make guys miss, pick up first down. Whistle on the play. Nolan Uzelizio, the right tackle, jumping early, and first opportunity here from Riley Johnson. And hopefully for that man right there, we won't hear from him too often today because they've been penalized a lot. Oh, my goodness. I mean, penalties have been drive killers for their offense. Their defense has extended so many drives with the penalties that they've gotten, but 5th most penalties in the country. That's not good. It's very hard to have a productive offense when you commit penalties like that. Now behind the chains, 1st and 15. Pitch back to pass, screen pass to Davis. A blocker in front of him utilizes it well. Close to midfield before finally being brought down by Tate Haynes. That's a first down for the Panthers.
And Boston College is coming after the quarterback. Look at everybody up in the line of scrimmage. They're bringing a linebacker blitz, and they snuck a lineman out and got the ball to their running back. Big gain on that 1st and long.
Another flag, yeah.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Ulizio again now after a long gain, Mark. Pitt wants to go quickly, but maybe they're going too quickly here. The line isn't getting set.
Yeah, and that becomes a problem. Is you want to continue to move forward, and you want to continue the drive, the momentum that you have from a big play, but coming out and going too fast, not hearing the signals, not hearing the calls, just sets you back and kills all momentum you might have had.
Again, another 1st and 15 for the Panthers. Pickett trying to go up top. Bobbled initially, and Jared Wayne couldn't bring it in. The true freshman defended on the play by Brandon Sebastian. We're going to see Jared Wayne a lot today because Taysir Mack, who usually lines up opposite of Maurice French, is out today.
Yeah, he's out, and you see Brandon Sebastian, he's been one of their consistent pieces at the outside corner position. He's got a tendency to be beat deep, but he is physical at the top of the routes. Good job there knocking the ball away.
On the ground by Davis. Stood up. TJ Ram, big fella in the middle of that Boston College defense, stuffs him after a short 2-yard gain.
Yeah, TJ Ram he's a newcomer on this defensive line. He's a junior, but seeing so much more playing time this year, and you see his size running off the field. He's a big boy, probably their most physical interior lineman. But yeah, you're right. He did a good job of getting over his block, stopping for no gain. Now 3rd and long for this Pitt team. Without Taysir Mack, they have to look other places.
Pickett sidesteps the initial tackler, but can't get away from that Boston College rush. Maximilian Richardson in on the sack, along with Isaiah McDuffie, who's back in action after missing the first part of the year.
Oh, and they are so happy to have Isaiah McDuffie, number 55, back. Great job of just getting around the back, forcing Pickett to step up into Max Richardson. But those two, that duo of linebackers, they were very excited about the potential that they had coming into the year. And with McDuffie being hurt for so long, it's good to see them back playing together.
Levy trying to make something happen, makes nothing happen. A 40-year day here in Pittsburgh. Saw Maurice French right there, his family, and Dane Jackson, best cover corner on this team. There he is, senior, playing his final home game in front of the folks here at Heinz Field. 3 and out for Pitt on Boston College's first offensive possession. Now we get another flag.
False start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Tight end Cora Abadrisi, and this is something neither coach wants to see, a lot of laundry on the field against their teams.
Yeah, just, no rhythm early in the game, and the type of thing these guys got to settle down. It's the last game of the regular season for both teams. Guys have some nerves, some anxiety, and just got to settle down, play your game.
Pitch out to Dillon. Gets through the hole, continues to pick up a yard or 2 more after contact. Jason Pinnock brings him down, but Dillon makes up some of that penalty yardage back.
Yeah, you see right there, on the first drive, we didn't see much of A.J. Dillon, and tried to maybe confuse Pitt's defense, but how good is he when he gets the ball in space, picking up those extra yards behind his big O-line.
Straight to Dillon. Grossell's going to roll out under pressure. Stays in bounds and throws it away, but it's intercepted by Pitt. Did he get a foot in bounds? No, they're ruling him incomplete. You're going to throw it away. Throw it into the 10th row, son.
Yeah, he's trying to make a play, and you're exactly right. It's not really a good move to be jumping off your right foot out of bounds to your right and throwing back across the field. Now, Hunter Long is his big tight end, the top receiver on this Boston College team, but even he wasn't going to make that catch. Now, we have another big 3rd and long. Let's see if Pittsburgh gets after him with some pressure.
The previous play of the quarterback's foot up before hitting out of bounds and throwing the pass is under further review.
So Riley Johnson, our referee, tells us that Tom Zamorski, our replay official, getting involved in this game early. Going to take a look to see if Gross stayed in bounds on it.
It is that one-score games could have gone either way and could have been a trip to a New Year's Six bowl game or the hot seat for coach.
Grossell under pressure by John Morgan. Had to get rid of it. Tried to hit Zay Flowers deep, not even close. BC their second consecutive 3-and-out to start this game.
Yeah, good coverage by Jason Pinnock on the outside. The bigger of their cornerbacks on the smaller Zay Flowers, use his body, really good job. And Pitt does, once again, what they've wanted to do and what they have been doing all season. You know, limit the ground game, first and second down. Obviously, the penalty backed up Boston College, but then they can really tee off on third down, and they have so much confidence in their corners to cover receivers down the field.
Carlson, a low punt, good coverage. Satterfield's done a great job in year one at Louisville, taking them to a bowl. Let's see if Mac Brown can do the same with a W today, later on this evening here on the ACC Network against NC State.
And how about the quarterback for UNC, Sam Howell, just having a fantastic freshman year for them.
Pick it back to pass on first down, has a receiver wide open. That's Wayne, the true freshman, fumbles the football, and Boston College has recovered. Nolan Borgerson fell on it, and BC gets a big break at midfield.
Yeah.
Rolling on the field. The ball was fumbled and recovered by Boston College. First down.
Well, that's number 42, Vinny DePalma, out of New Jersey. He's playing because John Lamont, the starter all year, is out this week in concussion protocol. A really good job of finding the football with his hand, punching it out, and hustled to the ball. Nolan Borgerson gets there, gets around the football. Good things happen defensively when you have lots of guys, lots of hats around the football.
Boston College has yet to pick up a first down in this game, but now they get excellent field position.
The previous play is under further review.
Replay officials will take a look at this one, but I think this has got to be a pretty quick review. That seemed obvious to me. That ball was out before our receiver, Jared Wayne, was able to. That ball is way out.
Yeah, that's a really good shot of it live. I can see how it might be reviewable, but they're going to take one look at this and get back down on the field, say it's BC ball, and just really good hustle to the ball. Vinny DePalma is a guy who's had to play some with all the injuries at linebacker this year. He's a really hard-nosed, tough player in that middle out of DePaul Catholic in Wayne, New Jersey, and he's a guy that they really like to build their team around as the years go on, but they're going to be returning a lot of guys defensively. They have a lot of young guys that are getting some experience in this game.
Time now for Food Lion's Food for Thought. We mentioned it at the open, Mark, but it bears repeating again and again today.
The rolling on the field is confirmed.
Thank you, Riley Johnson. Strength on strength today. We've seen A.J. Dillon, 2 carries and 4 yards. 2 3-and-outs for Boston College on offense because that great defense.
Yeah, I mean, the sack numbers really jump out of you. 48 sacks on the season. Pitt's defense really gets after it, but Boston College's offensive line has been one of the few groups that hasn't been affected by injury, played well together all year, protecting their quarterback.
Dillon spins into the line of scrimmage, picks up 2 yards on first down. Amir Watts, young man out of south side of Chicago, the senior, 1 of 14, being honored today, making the stop.
BC's going, hurry up, catch Pitt off guard.
Again, Dillon, this time he gets free. Bounces it outside of the 40, brought down at about the 37. Hamlin from that safety spot. Not until Dillon picks up a first down. He's a freight train once he gets going.
Yeah, 77, Zion Johnson pulls around, does a great peel back block. And A.J. Dillon is so patient. He has the speed, but that patience allows him to use his body and his athletic ability out over the field.
There's Levy in the jet sweep. Travis Levy gets good yardage on first down. That's 5 yards. This is how Boston College is going to move the football offensively. They want to go quick and they want to get into a rhythm running the ball.
Yeah, they do, and they can't just hand it to number 2 up the middle every single play. So using a guy like Travis Levy to get around the edge is going to be beneficial for Boston College.
Give once again to Levy, this time crashing on the backside as Patrick Jones stuffs him for no gain.
Yeah, Patrick Jones has just been so good all year at doing just that. A lot of times he finds himself on tight ends. It's so hard to block him with a tight end. Even some of the tight ends that are studs at Boston College are going to have a tough time with a guy like Patrick Jones.
chance to see David Bailey, this other big back Boston College has. He'll get the handoff, powering his way close to the first down marker. Looks like he's going to come up just a little bit shy. That gives you an indication of that young man's power right there. It's sort of a thunder and thunder backfield for Boston College.
Yeah, a couple booms, boom, and then boom. There's no flashes on this team. But when these guys get going forward and they lower their pads, they tend to fall forward. And with guys like that, it makes these decisions on 4th and short much more of an opportunity offensively to continue drives, because they just fall forward pretty much every time.
He powered his way and got an extra 3 yards on that carry with Panthers draped all over him.
And we've seen David Bailey do just that. He tends to be just a spark. You know, sometimes when they need a big play, he breaks one for 50.
And that extra effort here got his Eagles a first down.
Look at the surge off the ball by Boston College's offensive line. They're pushing guys backwards. It's very difficult for a team to prepare for guys like Boston College in their scheme offensively, just that they don't see it week to week. And those are the Buffalo Boys, they call themselves, not because they're from Buffalo, New York, but because they run and they snort and they grind like actual buffaloes. Watch out for their hands.
Bailey snorting and grinding around the left side. Pushes his blocker ahead of him, and Zion Johnson couldn't find a Panther to block, and that let one free in, so just a 2-yard gain.
Not a lot of times you use the old school term snot bubbles. A lot of times defensively, he's a snot bubble hitter. Well, these guys they'll create some snot bubbles out of the offensive backfield. And they line their linebackers up, run them over.
Also a run. He can do this. Sidesteps a tackler, gets inside the 15 before being brought down at about the 13, a first down for the Eagles.
Well, Pitt's playing some man-to-man coverage on the outside, and one of the ways to beat man-to-man coverage is to make them account for the quarterback in the run game. You add one extra blocker and one extra man to the count. Good job there by Boston College.
Bailey just churning for a couple on first down. This is a Boston College drive that started after a Pitt fumble on their own 48. So for the first time in this game, they get good field position. They're making the most out of it.
Yeah, and they got to continue to get down close to the goal. If there's one bright spot, is their ability to punch it in. They lead the ACC in goal-to-go situations. Just got to get down there.
Nothing doing for Dillon.
That's not going to help them.
This is going to be a tough area for them to be able to run in down here. Kylan Johnson making the stop from his linebacker spot.
And BC's going hurry up again. This is one of those situations where this is such an important down. It's less about catching the defense off guard and more about getting the right play. Let's see what they dial up.
Grossell rolls to his right, back to his left, tries to find a tight end, and it's incomplete. Was looking for Hunter Long, his best pass-catching tight end, but that play was blown up beautifully by Pitt.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes you go fast, try to catch the defense out of position and off guard, but defensively, when you find yourself off guard, you revert back to just say, find ball, get ball. And unfortunately, those misdirections tend not to work when the defense isn't set. BC so far 0 passing yards in the game, and struggled also in terms of field goal kicking.
Yeah, Aaron Bumeri, the transfer from Temple, 8 of 13 on the year, make that 9 of 14. Splits the uprights here, and Boston College on the board first at Pitt in a must-win situation for the Eagles. They're up a field goal.
One guy who lived nearby when we were stuck at school for Thanksgiving, we'd make them our new family. Some nice home-cooked turkey, some stuffing, some tryptophan, fall asleep on the couch, watching Sunday football.
Kicking game woes continue for Boston College. Danny Longman.
Kick out of bounds by number 37. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Doing just that, so good field position for Pitt. Interesting, check this out.
Yeah.
Boston College running the football, Pitt throwing the football.
Sometimes games are microcosms of entire seasons, and that right there tells the whole story. Pitt wants to pass the ball. That's why Mark Whipple is there. And Boston College is going to run the ball. And you see it laid out just like that.
Mark Whipple, first-year offensive coordinator here for Pitt. Came in expected to open things up offensively. Has done that so far this year, especially at times. At times they've struggled. Didn't struggle on that play. Shockey Jacques Louis on the jet sweep picks up a first down.
And Boston College is stringing it out, but Jacques Louis does a good job of setting up that outside block, gets upfield. See, they can use their wide receivers in a bunch of different ways, and Jacques Louis is a guy that they can hand the ball to when they need.
Fumble. Ball still on the ground, and it looks like Boston College has picked up their second of the game. They have.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by Boston College. First down.
Tana Carafa comes up with it. It's just a miss exchange. Quarterback running back exchange is just not sound, and you have a true freshman running back, Vincent Davis. He usually is sure-handed with the football, but that one falls out. Boston College jumps on it. Now another short field for this Boston College offense, and they're going to need that because they just do not have those deep threats downfield in the passing game, so this sets up perfectly for their run offense.
Boston College will start from the Pitt 38. Fake to Dillon. Grossell, now he's going to go up top. Receiver very well covered, no chance. Kobe White had no shot of running underneath that one.
Yeah, Pitt played off a little bit and gave their corner some safety help on that first down play. Good job by Pitt to just hang back there, not get beat deep. But you know, Boston College is going to take a few shots. They're just not very accurate with those balls.
Give to Dillon. He's tripped up in the backfield, lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Chase Pine did a nice job of getting to the backfield and disrupting that play.
Yeah, great job by Pine to dip under that block. Just grabbed a foot. Not always easy to take down A.J. Dillon, but he can't go anywhere without his foot. And then the swarm of Pitt Panthers to finish him off.
3rd and 10, this is where the Panthers
Well, they're
drive.
showing blitz now.
In with just 4, screen out to Dillon. Has a blocker in front of him, 30. Cuts it back inside, still on his feet inside the 20. And there'll be a first down for Boston College.
That's absolutely ridiculous when you see A.J. Dillon come out and just sneaks behind the pressure, is able to hit him with the ball, but watch the end of this play. This is a 250-pound man. Watch it, he just jumped sideways and backwards and continued upfield. Good play. Until he catches the ball backfield.
Grossell has a tight end wide open, and he overshoots him. That was Korab Adrizi, was wide open behind the defense, and he overthrows him.
Good play design by Boston College. Pitt has had so many men in the box to try to stop the run that little fake jet sweep found their tight end in the back. But Dennis Grossell has to get that ball to his tight end for that touchdown.
Bailey. Blockers in front. Picks up 3.
This sets up another 3rd down. They can still pick up a first down, but I think what Boston College needs to think about is utilizing that big tight ends through the middle of the field. You saw that missed opportunity to Adrizi, but look for Hunter Long, number 80, lined up toward the bottom of your screen right there. He's a guy that's going to match up threat in this red zone, especially versus these safeties that are tight to line of scrimmage.
Bailey's still in the game, lining up behind Grossell. Grossell is flush. Now he's in big trouble. Just throws this one away. And he'll get beyond the line of scrimmage. And they are ruling that he was outside the tackle box.
Yeah, well, he was running for his life, and everybody's covered up. They double-teamed the tight end in the middle of the field, and watch that pursuit by Pitt's defense. Really lucky by Grossell. He was able to get that ball out of bounds.
Stays into hold for Aaron Boomeri. Already hit on 1 field goal. Gonna try another one, this one from 32. And Boomeri is true. Boston College converts another turnover into points. Eagles lead. Good start for Boston College here on the road. Got to win to become bowl eligible. They're up 6-0, converting 2 Pitt turnovers into points. Pitt hasn't been able to get anything going offensively because they keep giving the ball back to the Eagles. Danny Longman now kicking off. This one will go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
And it's been all about those miscues that you mentioned, the turnovers, the fumbles in this game. And credit to Boston College's defense. They're finding a way to get the ball out. That one they were helped with, but pouncing on it, setting up these short fields for this Boston College offense is big today. They've had 14 of their 22 plays in Pitt territory, just living on the opponent's side of the field.
Boston College team that gives up almost 33 points and almost 500 yards of offense per game, but this defense now has forced a couple of fumbles. It's up and forge a lead. A.J. Davis picks up 2 on first down. Pitt team that has only had the ball for a little over less than 4 minutes in this first quarter. That's winding down.
Yeah, good strong run by A.J. Davis. He was another guy who's been banged up throughout this year. He's a guy that they feel is probably their most consistent running back. He had some physicality to that backfield for Pitt Panthers.
Play fake, Pickett. It's a safety valve. It's Griffin Stewart, the tight end, dropped immediately. Nice tackle after a very short gain. Brandon Sebastian coming up from that corner spot.
Yeah, Brandon Sebastian has been a pretty good tackler his entire career at Boston College. He's got a tendency to get beat deep at certain points, but he's aggressive and physical. And now a big third down that these corners are going to have to hold up and cover someone for this Pitt wide receiver group.
3rd and 7 for Pickett. Over the middle, has a receiver open. That's going to be a first down. Nakia Griffin Stewart again. This time he moves the chains.
Guys, when we were talking with Pittsburgh yesterday, they talked about Kenny Pickett and his development and what they've seen from him. One of the things they said is he's got to make sure he keeps his head in it. Last week had a turnover. You could tell that got in his head. Right now trying to keep it clean after that fumble in the last drive. We'll see how they do the rest of this drive here.
Nice job on that play. Jared Wayne on the receiving end, now in Boston College territory.
Yeah, those last 2 passes show me, Kelsey, that he's keeping his head in, he's keeping his cool. I think a really good job by Mark Whipple to call 2 pass plays on this drive right after that fumble to give him some confidence.
Center Jim Morrison barking out signals. Boston College goes with some pressure. Flag down. Pickett hits his tight end. Griffin Stewart again. This will move the chains if the play stands. Let's take a look at the flag. And we have a Boston College Eagle down as well as the officials talk about it. Far side, right near the first down marker.
It's like Isaiah McDuffie.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 55. 15-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the run. First down.
That's insult to injury right there. You saw McDuffie holding his shoulder. He was the one guilty of the face mask infraction. So they'll add 15 yards. And McDuffie, who's had a tough season, missed the first about 3/4 of the year with an injury, just getting back into the flow of things.
Yeah, he's still a little step behind where he was, but he adds a spark. But watch Kenny Pickett inside the pocket. He gets the top of his drop. You see the face mask right there on the left side of your screen. Isaiah McDuffie just grabs a hold right there. He sits in that pocket, delivers a great ball to his tight end towards the sideline.
Pickett over the middle of the French. Inside the 10 before stepping out of bounds. Give him 6 yards.
And this is where I think that Pittsburgh has an advantage, is those underneath routes, the matchups in the zone coverage. First Boston College linebackers, they're a little bit slower than these wide receivers. It's going to be tough for them to match up in those zones.
Give to Davis. Cuts it back nicely, close to the first down. Brandon Barlow brought him down. They may have to measure this one. He's right on that 5-yard line. Officials are going to wind the clock. 1st and goal for Pitt.
Well, a lot of options here. Run the ball right off the bat or take a shot early.
Give us to Davis. Tries the middle. Inside the 1.
That is the end of the first quarter. Timeout.
Both teams will make the longest walk possible at the end of the first quarter to the other end of the field, where it'll be 2nd and goal for this Panther team, trying to pick up win number 8 on the year, but a half a yard away from taking the lead. of the game, and they've got a 2nd and goal from the 1. Pickett's going to keep it.
Another flag on the play.
We've already mentioned how Pitt is one of the most penalized teams in the country.
False start. Offense number 6 wasn't set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Aaron Matthews wide out. And that's the 3rd time in this game that they've tried to go quickly, and it's cost them a false start because they haven't gotten set.
Yeah, and the problem is they were coming off the sideline trying to get set up quick, but watch outside, number 6. He needs to be set for a second.
Pay attention.
He needs to be set for an entire second at that wide out position before the ball can get snapped.
He's the only one who didn't get the memo that they were going quickly.
Mental mistake.
So it's 2nd down and goal now from just outside the 5. Pickett's going to keep it. It's a good block on the outside, but not enough to get anywhere. Maximilian Richardson there on the stop.
Yeah, Max Richardson has been swarming to the ball all year. He leads the ACC in total tackles. He just has a knack to getting to the ball. You see how costly that penalty was. Pitt already has showed that they've had so many pre-snap penalties that have set back their team this entire year. That was just another example of the devastation that they can cause.
So an opportunity with this Boston College defense to get off the field without getting a touchdown on this drive. Pickett has plenty of time into the end zone. A fantastic defensive play.
Nolan Borgerson he's a guy who was not the starter at the beginning of this year and playing out of necessity. He's a senior, possibly his last game for Boston College, but really good job on the double move. The tight end comes in, number 10 wheels back out. Borgerson just extends to knock that ball down, and great play by Boston College, but penalty that hurt Pitt, backed them up out of just punching it in with the quarterback sneak.
Alex Kessman now attempting to put Panthers on the board, and he does. 23 yards. Kessman hits for the 13th time in his last 15 attempts. He's been outstanding. It's 6-3 Boston College. Disappointing drive, though, for the Panthers. It's 2nd and goal from the 1-foot line, and they have to settle for 3. The ACC Championship is next Saturday. We'll have full pregame coverage from Charlotte as our special Sky Cam angle of the game. Packer and Durham get you started at 4 Eastern. Then the Huddle crew takes you up to game time at 7:30. We'll have kickoff from inside the game just above the field. The Sky Cam. It's also available, of course, on that ESPN app. So a full day of action. Virginia and Clemson next week for the ACC title.
Such an interesting way to watch the game from that Sky Cam. You can see so much, and a lot of times you get really that bird's eye view of what the quarterback sees from the defense during the beginning of the play. Really fun way to kind of analyze what's happening on the field real time.
You and I and Roddy Jones will be offering our opinions on that Sky Cam feed, so that'll be fun.
Just makes it even better.
Kessman kicking off for Pitt, high and short. This one will be returnable for Levy from his 4. There's an opening. Closes, but not before he gets it out to the 29. You saw that Clemson is playing Virginia in that championship game. How did Virginia get there? They got a big win. First time in 16 games against Virginia Tech in their rivalry yesterday.
Yeah, and Bryce Perkins has been the guy all year for the Cavaliers, and he did it through the air and on the ground, and you see how it ends. A sack for UVA. They've been so good all year getting the quarterback. Fitting way for that one to end, but it's come full circle. You mentioned it. Look at all the past winners. Not one has repeated. They've all gotten one.
I can't take credit for this. Our colleague Anish Shroff said, it ain't coastal chaos if every team wins in the last 7 years. You've had one team, a different team win, and each and every team has won it over 7 years. Rossell is off the mark, trying to get it to Zay Flowers on first down. He wants a call, but won't get it.
Sometimes the easiest place to find order is amongst chaos, and see that happening there. Just plays out the right way sometimes.
Fitting in 2019, everybody gets a trophy. Last 7 years, every team in the Coastal has won it once. Dillon now on 2nd and 10, sidesteps in the backfield. He's able to pick up about 4 before being slammed down to the turf by Jalen Twyman. Those are 2 big athletes meeting.
Yeah, that's a collision by those guys. Twyman's such a good, powerful player. He's known for all his sacks, his 10 sacks in the season. When we talked to his coach, Randy Bates, he said he's so good at using his hands, getting off blocks, getting involved in the run game, just like you saw there. And now another 3rd and long. Let's see if Pitt brings pressure. They were successful last time. If they come after Dennis Grosel.
The White's in motion on 3rd and 6. Grosel to pass. This is receiver over the middle. That's going to be a first down. Zay Flowers is able to pick up 10 yards.
Well, you don't even really have to see the number of who catches it, but you see that quickness with Zay Flowers' feet. He just has an explosion that the rest of this team doesn't have. He's a really special player. They're happy to have him on this BC team.
BC trying to go quickly. Give to Bailey. He lowers his shoulder and bangs his way for 3.
Well, this Boston College team is just double teaming the big boys up front. Amir Watts, Jalen Twyman are getting 2 offensive linemen on them right away. These linebackers need to get in the picture up in the line of scrimmage and take off those double teams.
Grosel to Bailey. This time he ain't going anywhere. Met in the backfield. Twyman just crashing through that offensive line and make the stop, shaking his finger and saying, no. Maybe a couple of times it's worked, not this time.
Yeah, not this time. Watch the line stunt up front. These guys make an inside move and are just able to get right past the offensive lineman. Really good game plan, good scheme by Randy Bates to get the line moving. That's another way to take the double teams off up front, setting up a 3rd and long. And now Pitt's showing a little bit of pressure. They have their whole line slid to the left side to see if they bring any linebackers on the right.
And then with 6. They get to Grosel, but he gets it off. And a beautiful catch inside the 40-yard line. Caught by Kobe White. That's 19 yards on the pitch and catch. Grosel stood in there tough.
Well, lack of experience is what Grosel has, but he also has toughness. He gets absolutely drilled and throws a ball perfectly to Kobe White. Really good job staying in the pocket, delivering the ball for the first down.
Jason Pinnock was coming on a corner blitz and got him. The Boston College converts on 3rd down. Now Dillon. He'll look to get going. Gets it outside for 3.
That's what this offense is built around. You get a big play because you needed it, and then right back to the run game. Start pounding this defensive line, try to wear them out.
Again, the handoff to Dillon. He gets maybe 2 to bring it 3rd and 5.
Good job by Twyman on that play. I mean, he takes on a double team. He drops to a knee. He spins around, makes the tackle. He is such a student of the game. He knows what's coming at him every single play. He's been able to find the quarterback he had in the pass rush.
Dillon inside. He's going to be dropped. It looks just shy of that first down marker. Deslin Alexander making the stop. You got to think this is 4-down territory for BC if he doesn't get it.
Injury timeout.
And that's bad news for Pitt. Jalen Twyman on the field. We'll check on his condition when we come back. Pitt's All-American candidate defensive tackle Jalen Twyman walking off under his own power. Here's how he got hurt on that last play.
Yeah, watch him right here in the line of scrimmage. He gets just a little bit tired and just walks off the ball. And Boston College can sense that, and they run the ball right at him. That's why they go so fast, to get these defensive linemen tired out. They can't sub in and out because Boston College doesn't sub, and that was the result right there. 4th down and inches on this play, and Grosel just keeps it, and he gets the first down. He's a big quarterback, 6'1", 220 pounds, and he's deceptive as a runner. Yeah, he is, and that's something they knew about him going into camp, that he was an athletic runner, is more so if he could throw the ball consistently, and you've seen today he makes some really good plays with his arm. Another first down for the Eagles. Bacon going over the top. This time he's got a wide open tight end, and this time they connect. It's Hunter Long for the score. Run, 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 then hit him over top when the safeties come in. That's Boston College's recipe for success. And just good execution that time. We saw Dennis Grosel miss one earlier to his other tight end. This one he connected, put it out in front of Hunter Long. But this Pitt secondary, we talked about at the beginning of the game, they're missing their stud Paris Ford at that safety position. He would be a guy normally on those tight ends, reading and reacting. That's an interesting thing to look at as this game develops and he returns in the second half.
Yeah, Paris Ford sitting this first half because of a targeting call last week in the Virginia Tech game. Bumeri hits the PAT, didn't miss his tight end this time. Hunter Long wide open.
They're lined up in this bunch set, and there's Hunter Long right at the middle, and he takes this all the way up and over number 7, the safety, all the way up in the box, and you see him trying to recover, but this Boston College run game has that effect on safeties. They're trying to kind of cheat, add an extra man to the run box, and Jazzy Stocker just got left in that box and left looking behind as Hunter Long scored that touchdown.
Long's second touchdown of the season. It's interesting, this team uses their tight end so well in the passing game. He averages almost 18 yards a catch, Hunter Long. That's a lot for a wideout.
That's a lot for anybody. I mean, that's out of control. And I think it's because of plays just like that. You know, he's not hitting a lot of hitch routes, a lot of out routes underneath. It's those big play action plays that gives Boston College these explosives in the pass game on offense.
Lawman kicking off. Will be an opportunity for Shocky Jacques Louis to return it, but he calls for a fair catch. So Pitt will see what they can do on offense now. Trailing 13-3. Friday night, we'll have another stellar college basketball doubleheader for you. We're going to start with number 1 Duke, number 1 for now, taking on Virginia Tech at 7 o'clock Eastern. Then it's Louisville hosting Pittsburgh, with Duke losing to Stephen F. Austin. We've got to assume that Louisville is going to take over that number 1 spot. Both games right here on the ACC network and on the ESPN app.
That Louisville basketball team, they're good. It's interesting to watch how well they can just.
Football team took it on the chin today, losing to Kentucky in their rivalry game big. Pickett, incomplete. Put the ball right on the money. Jacques Louis couldn't squeeze it.
And that's one he needs to catch. This Pittsburgh offense has suffered all year from drops. I mean, they have a case of the dropsies. These wide receivers have just not been able to hold on to the ball. They have 38 drops on the season, tied for the most in the FBS. And ruins Kenny Pickett's number.
This is going to ruin Kenny Pickett's day right here. Just a bull rush up the middle. Tanner Carafa was there, and this crowd displeased with what they've seen offensively from Pitt as Boston College's defense have come to play. It's their second sack of the night.
Yeah, look at his right side of the screen against number 53. Carafa just uses his hands and bullies him backwards. Carafa is a guy, another senior. He's the captain of this defense. Already recovered a fumble on the day. Gets involved in the sack game, in Boston College with the first sack on the board.
3rd and 18 now for the Pitt Panthers. BC brings just 3, dropping back into coverage. Nice pitch and catch. That's Jared Wayne who makes the grab. He's going to be just shy. Sorry, Shocky Jacques Louis who makes the grab. He's going to be just shy. Maybe not. No, he got the first down. They gave it to him right at the 35.
Great throw by Kenny Pickett. He has to put it up and over the middle linebacker right into that hole. That's a weakness of that cover 3 defense. Finds his target right over the middle. That's a big first down that Pitt desperately needed.
Stepping up, directing traffic, has to get it back to Shocky, and he makes the catch.
Wow.
Over Elijah Jones, who's a big 6'3" corner.
He's tapping his helmet saying, give me the ball again. And Elijah Jones is a guy who's in because he is such a good cover guy, probably their best cover corner, but a perfectly placed ball. And Jacques Louis, he's a guy who's playing, he plays a lot of plays, but not necessarily the outside threat. But with Taysir Mack down, those are a lot of the passes that you're going to see him get in today's game.
Yeah, Taysir Mack injury last week, a lower body injury. Thought he might be able to go today, but he cannot, so he's not dressed. Pickett has time, has a man down the middle, and it's complete inside the 10. Jared Wayne, the true freshman from Peterborough, Ontario, with the catch.
Yeah, Jared Wayne's a bigger 6'3", 190-pound receiver, and he comes in from the left side of your screen. Good coverage all over him, but you know, just when we mentioned the drops for Pitt, they catch everything. Good catch on that play.
Now Pickett, he's gonna get sacked. Isaiah McDuffie, who was shaken up a little bit earlier, back in, making the play.
In this second down, this is important. You want to You want to set up a shorter convertible third down. It's going to be 3rd and goal. How things are going in the turnover bug, they could really use a touchdown on this drive and not settle for a field goal.
Pickett, ball bad at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. TJ Ram, big fella, got up. Let's see the vertical on Ram here when he bats this one down.
Yeah, he got up, and watch the big man in the middle. He's on a stunt, looping outside. And the screenplay, you count a second as offensive lineman right there. Not a huge vertical, Chris, but got his big hands up in the air to knock the ball away anyways.
Starts at 6'1". He was about 6'3" at the apex, I would think there, but it was enough.
Giving him 2 inches on that vertical.
3rd down and goal.
Pickett blitzes up the middle.
Here comes the pressure. Gets it out to Davis, but he's not going to get very far. Elijah Jones on the coverage.
Yeah, and BC brought 6 with 5 blockers for Pittsburgh up front. Kenny Pickett has to get the ball out, and in those situations, you just get the ball out and hope that a wide receiver can make someone miss. See the line slide to the left, just leave McDuffie all alone. Good tackle on the outside by a guy who's going to be a stud in the future for this BC defense, Elijah Jones.
Kessman made from 23. Now he's going to try and make good from 35. From the right hash mark, Hessman solid, but BC again with a 1st and goal, having to settle for 3. It's 13-6 Eagles.
Go ahead if you want to try.
Time for your Fansville studio update. Dallin Cuff, Eric McLean in studio. Wake Forest about to go in for an overtime touchdown winner against Cuse in the Dome, but then Trill Williams says, forget Meek Mill, I'm the Trillist.
They were right there, so close. What a job done there. Something they won't forget for the rest of their lives.
94 yards to the house. They win by 9. What a scene. Back to you in the Berg. Cotter, I know you're already worried about your Permane Brothers sandwich post-game.
I got to get me one of those with the French fries on the sandwich. You know, the carbs, the protein, my macros all in one.
French fries good.
Delicious
sandwich good.
bite. Thanks, DC.
Pitt's offense as of late pretty good.
But only field goals, my man.
Yep, well, they're getting stopped in the red. They're getting down there, and it was a penalty on that first one, and then a sack on the second one to back them up. And credit the Boston College defense. They've been stout in that red zone.
Levy on his 3, bangs into the back of his own man. He's able to bring it down to the 24. Boston College will start from there, and what we see, Pitt's big defensive tackle, Jalen Twyman.
Guys, I think you should see him out there. He came over after that last drive, went straight into the tent, and when he came out, he was kind of grabbing an area below his right leg, below the knee, came out and got on the bike after he walked around a little bit, was grimacing a little, got on the bike, and then got off the bike, did some quick high knees, looked at his coaches, shook his head yes, and they handed him his helmet. So looks like it's going to be good news for him. We'll see. Don't see him out there right yet.
Yeah, he's on the sideline right now, Kels, but appreciate that update. Maybe we'll see him here in a bit. Dillon on the right side. Full head of steam. Give him 9 yards on 1st down.
Boston College is attacking the corners. A lot of times you try to leave the corner unblocked to just make him make the tackle, but they're getting offensive linemen out on those corners, making it much more difficult when A.J. Dillon turns that corner.
Dillon patiently tries to read the blocks. He'll pick up the 1st down, but we got Laundry on the field.
Watch those flags. How often do you think they are actually Laundry?
They look at them. They look tied. You know, the color pops on them.
They do.
Yeah.
Encroachment. Offense number 9.
Whoa.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Kobe White lined up in the neutral zone. That's why you see the officials look over at the receivers look over at the official and point. I'm good, right?
Yep.
Kobe White didn't do that on that play. He wasn't good.
He's pointing right now. Pointing on this play.
Lost him 5 yards and a 1st down. 2nd down
jump.
and 6. Another penalty.
Kobe White jumped this time.
False start. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty. 2nd out.
Veteran White, junior out of Harrisburg, PA, not too far from here, guilty of 2 straight penalties. Now he's going to go to the sideline and I'm sure have a word with the coaching staff. Undisciplined penalties there. You were 2nd down and 1. You're actually a 1st down. A.J. Dillon had picked up a 1st down for you. Now you're 2nd and 11. Gives it to Dillon, bounces it outside. Bangs into a player, keeps his feet. He'll pick up about 7.
A.J. Dillon just followed his lead blocker around that corner, and Krabadreezy gets up on the safety. Didn't look like BC changed their play at all. That's the interesting thing. They go from 2nd and 5 to 2nd and 11, and they're still going to run that same puller, running back right up the middle. Now they'll change it up, go empty.
3rd and a long 4 here. Pitt's going to call a timeout. You saw Narduzzi right there in the officials' ear, wants to talk things over. 3rd down. Just under 4.5 to go in the first half. Boston College up 7, facing a 3rd down in Pitt territory. That's the Cathedral of Learning, 42 stories high. Tallest education building in the Western Hemisphere. Look at this. Pittsburgh throwing the ball. BC a little more balanced.
Yeah, surprising. Usually they're so lopsided in the run game, but this is a huge 3rd down for Boston College. If they're unable to convert, they could punt and give Pitt a short field, and if they drove down into the half, won't even matter though.
Sell makes them pay. That was a big conversion.
Yeah, if you don't pick that up, you're giving Pitt a chance to have that last possession, drive the ball down the field. And this is a designed quarterback run. He just keeps up the middle. And
Bailey just carrying defenders into Pitt territory, but we got a flag back around the line of scrimmage.
Offensive holding, number 78. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Mike's boy, Tyler Vrabel, guilty of the infraction. He didn't understand it.
Yeah, it's a redshirt freshman. It's his 1st year getting action for this team. He's been really solid. Tough task this week, obviously blocking the Pitt defensive front, but you've seen a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball, and that's rare for Boston College. They're the 3rd least penalized team in the ACC. Right there, big penalty, drive them back, and as we're talking, if Pitt can hold them to punt the ball, they can have some time to drive back down the field, take the lead, or at least tie going into half.
Clock winding inside of 4 minutes. 1st and 20 now for the Eagles. Just a cement truck running through that line. Picks up 8.
And they're running right in the middle of that defensive line where Jalen Twyman usually is. And actually, you see him back on the field right now. Just came in that last play. They know he's banged up. They're running the ball right at him.
Good pressure. Hunter Long couldn't squeeze it. They'll bring up 3rd and 12.
Good job by Pitt defense to get their hands up. Looks like it was tipped by Amir Watts. And this is that big 3rd down. 3rd and 12. BC has not been good on 3rd down, especially 3rd and long this year. To me, this is an area where Pitt has to tee off, bring some people, try to get a sack, just bring a spark to this defense.
True freshman Ethan Williams in motion now near side. Grossell rolls out. Gets to Levy, but a nice play to dislodge the ball by DeMar Hamlin.
Well, they did. They brought pressure up the middle, forced the outside pass, but Hamlin with a great break on the football. He does not even mess around with trying to knock that ball out because he's just going to knock the man over. Big stop on 3rd down, and Pitt's going to get the ball back. With about 3 minutes left. Trying to go and tie this one up.
Ray Carlson brings a little bit of pressure, low end over end. Jason Pinnock is just going to let it bounce. And it dies right about the 28-yard line after a 38-yard kick. Nothing on the return. Pitt with the ball. Just over 3 minutes left to go in this first half when we come back. How Travis Etienne made history today. An update on Miami and Duke. I'm sure they'll show you highlights of that crazy finish in the Carrier Dome and a preview of North Carolina and NC State. It's all coming up. State Farm halftime report in just a bit. Mr. Wrestling number 4 there on the right, trying to will his Pitt Panthers down the field for what could be a potential game-tying touchdown here in the final 3 minutes of the first half. Kenny Pickett's been pretty good, though.
Yeah, he has, and he's been pretty consistent. Only 2 drops out of the wide receivers. Really good as of late.
Just haven't been able to get in the end zone. The red zone, now pressure coming, ball knocked free. And it looks like the Panthers have fallen on it. But Boston College has been able to get pressure on Pickett. That was Max Richardson.
Yeah, Max Richardson up the middle. Then Marcus Valdez comes off the edge. On your left side of your screen, you have a tight end, Will Gregg, trying to block probably the best pass rusher on this defensive line for Boston College, Marcus Valdez. He is developed into a high motor pass rusher, and really good job on the 2-hand swipe to get around the edge, force that fumble.
Not something they've been great at all year, putting pressure on the quarterback, but they've been getting to Pickett today. 4 sacks already, and they've harried him a bunch of times. He's still down on the turf.
Yeah, you mentioned they're 121st out of 130 in the nation in sacks per game. Really, they're lucky if they can only get 1. So far, they've gotten after the quarterback really well.
And just as we mentioned that Pickett's gotten off to a pretty good start in this game, Nick Patty now is warming up. He's only attempted 42 passes on the season, mostly in mop-up duty. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pickett now, at least that's good news. He's sitting up as his Panther staff continues to look at him and talk about how he feels. Let's take a look at that hit again from Valdez off the corner. Can't tell if he landed funny. Didn't look like a particularly vicious hit. Valdez swiping with that right arm to dislodge the ball.
Yeah, good job by Valdez to get that right arm out to disrupt the throwing motion, get the ball out. But let's hope Pickett's all right.
Walking off under his own power.
And with him coming off, another New Jersey kid. Pickett's from Oakhurst, New Jersey. Now Nick Patty from Hillsdale, New Jersey, coming into this game. And you mentioned it, not a lot of experience, redshirt freshman.
The clock will start on the ready for play.
And it's a passing situation as trying to lead this 2-minute drive down the field, and starts in a deficit with 2nd and very long.
2nd and 18. Give to A.J. Davis, who has some good running room beyond the original line of scrimmage to give the Panthers at least an opportunity here on 3rd down and long.
Boston College making some subs, bringing in some of their pass rushers. 47 on the right side of bottom of your screen. Cheetah Salah, he's a freshman, quick off the edge.
Patty has time. Couldn't connect, tried to get it to his back. Davis, and he'll bring up 4th down, and it stops the clock. BC's going to get the ball back with all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, if Pitt was able to sustain that drive, they'd have a chance to go in and tie it. But now with Boston College stepping up defensively in a huge way, they're going to be able to have a chance at extending this lead even farther with plenty of time on the board. Still have 3 timeouts.
Kirk Christodoulou to punt it away for Pitt. Travis Levy standing on his own 33. High kick. Levy, 26. Willing to return it. Won't get far. Give him about 5 yards after a nice 45-yard kick from Christodoulou.
Good coverage by this Pitt punting team. They got down the field. Pitt punts out of the NFL pro-style punt game, which you don't see a lot of in college football anymore, but good job on the coverage. Now it's up to Dennis Grosel. 2-minute drive. Look for a run early on this drive. Thinking that Pitt's going to play off a little bit into coverage. Look for a draw or a screen early to just pick up chunk yards.
There's Jalen Twyman back in the game. That's a good sign. Dillon. Met in the backfield and dropped. Heck Heck of a play by DeMar Hamlin. He's made a lot of tackles out of his strong safety spot.
And he's a great tackler. He's probably one of the best tacklers on this defense. And he's able to diagnose a play from that safety position and take the right angle, make some great plays just like that. Now wide receiver uncovered, top of the screen. BC missed it.
Dillon instead catches it. Another loss. Dane Jackson shaken up a little bit on that play after hitting that truck, A.J. Dillon.
Okay. And just trying to create, this is a little screenplay they're trying to set up. Great job. A.J. Dillon's got up slow, holding that right knee. You see the helmet hit him right on that right knee. Yeah, it looks like that could be signs for concussion. Probably check him out on the sidelines.
Just a reminder, Paris Ford is another one of the leaders in that secondary. They'll get him back in the second half. Dane Jackson, who they call the bell cow of this secondary, coming off under his own power. Kels?
Guys, Kenny Pickett just came out of the medical tent. He's on the sidelines right now throwing with some of his receivers. Came out, looks good, got his helmets back on, so we'll see if he gets another shot in this first half or if maybe we see him again in the second half.
That's a good sign right there. Pickett warming up after coming off just moments ago, shaking up.
Yeah, and he might get another shot to get back out there. BC with this 3rd and long, 3rd and 15.
And that clock's running, and they don't look to be in much of a hurry to get going. I don't blame them.
Pitt showing pressure. Man-to-man on the outside.
Rossell has room to run if he wants to, and he does. But he won't pick up the first down, won't even get close. Does get 9 yards, but Cam Bright brought him down. That's going to force a punt, and Pitt's going to call a timeout to stop this clock.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. This is their second of the half. 30-second timeout.
A lot of interesting strategy here in the final couple of minutes. You thought Pitt might be able to mount a drive. Then they had to punt it away. BC looked like they might be able to put something together, but now Pitt's going to get the ball back, and they may get it back with Pickett at the helm.
Yeah, and we talk about inexperience by Dennis Grossell. That last play, I love the decision to pull the ball down and run. You could try to force it in, make a completion for that long first down, but you know that if you run the ball, if you get tackled inbounds, you force Pitt to take a timeout. Now they're only down to 1 timeout with under a minute left in the game. Really smart headsy play by Dennis Grossell, not to throw the ball away, but to get tackled inbounds, keep that clock rolling.
And Grant Carlson now will be charged with driving the Panthers as deep as he can get them with under a minute left to go here in this first half. Line drive punt. Barzell can't handle it initially and falls on it at his own 19. So an effective punting play that time by Carlson in this BC special teams unit.
You can't ask for a much better punt in that type of situation. Hey, outside the numbers, obviously the mishandle of the ball, but backed up inside their own 20. You see number 8 right there. That's a good sign. Kenny Pickett's going to have another shot to come out. And
offensive coordinator Mark Whipple with the toque on right here in the headset, having a word with his offense. Now, what do you think they're drawing up here with 81 yards to go in 47 seconds?
Well, after looking at those stats, I would say it's probably not a run. You know, they've been throwing the ball effectively this first half. They just got to hang in there, see if they might keep a couple guys in for protection. This first play, they do run it.
That's A.J. Davis, and that may be just raising the white flag.
And you're hearing it from the fans. You hear some of those boo birds, as you like to call them. Sometimes that sets up, and that busts for a big run in that first play in the 2-minute drill.
French makes the catch and out of bounds. To bring up a 3rd and short. Clock stopped at 22 seconds.
Yeah, in this situation, time's more important than yardage. So 3rd and short could be 3rd and 5. You still got to throw the ball downfield.
Or run it with Davis. He'll pick up the first down. Moves the pile for a couple of more yards, but McDuffie and company bring him down, and first down will temporarily stop the clock. Narduzzi calls timeout to permanently stop it.
Yeah, and that run play leaves you with the
Timeout. Pittsburgh. That's their third and final timeout of this half.
with the necessity to call that timeout. Now, the only problem is you don't have the ability to call a timeout, set up a field goal later in this drive if it comes down to that. So it's good. It looks like it's going to have to be a big chunk, some plays towards the out of bounds if they're going to settle for a field goal.
Does have Alex Kessman, who has a howitzer for a leg. So if they can get a decent chunk on this play, might have a shot at a long field goal. Tonight after North Carolina, NC State, all ACC. We'll have the scores, highlights, and breakdowns from the day's action on the gridiron. Nobody covers the ACC like we do. 10 o'clock Eastern right here on the ACC Network and on that ESPN app. Dallin, EJ, Coach Rick, and Eric McLean are going to be on hand for all ACC.
BC's got their rush package in again, 3 down linemen. Probably their best pass rushers inside. Isaiah McDuffie showing off the top of the screen.
Pickett has all day to throw and has French wide open. 40, out of bounds at the 38. So a 26-yard pickup. That would set up about a 55-yard field goal if they wanted to attempt it right now, and Kessman has the leg to make it.
Yeah, and really good job by Pitt's offensive line, giving Kenny Pickett the time to find his receiver across the field. They could take their time here if they wanted.
They'll try another play. Quickly out of bounds to French, and a nice job to get it to the 30. With 2 seconds left, that's beautiful, those 2 plays, and it's going to set up Kessman with an opportunity.
Yeah, they went fast. Looks like they only had 10 players on the offensive side of the ball, but good catch. Looks like he got that left foot in down there. Might have been complete on Sundays, that toe tap.
Kessman has made the longest field goal ever in competition in this stadium. That's both Panthers and Steeler games, 55 yards. This is going to be from 48. Well within his range. Very little wind tonight. Kick is down, and he nails it. Big momentum for Pitt going into the break. Kessman, his 3rd field goal of the night. BC leads, but Pitt's able to get some points in the final play of the first half.
Yeah, great job on that last pass play to just toe touch, get it out of bounds. Really 2 deep balls down the field where they find the sidelines. And Boston College has to know that's coming. You're going to send pressure, but you got to protect the sidelines, knowing that if you stop them inbounds, they're going to have a difficult time getting their field goal team on. But really good job by Pittsburgh on that last drive, and they go into the locker room with momentum. See if they can sustain that coming out of half.
Still Boston College with the lead. They need
with Vinny DePalma forcing that fumble, setting up a short field, and then it's been the defensive front getting to the quarterback. Isaiah McDuffie is back for this team. He has 2 sacks. You see Valdez coming around the corner on that last one. Really good job by Boston College defense, setting up some short fields and getting a bunch of field goal opportunities for BC.
Another flag, too. This is the 2nd time Danny Longman has kicked the ball out of bounds to give good field position to Pittsburgh, to Pitt rather, to start a drive. Kelsey Riggs is down on the field. Kels?
Well, guys, I just caught up with Pat Narduzzi. He told me not so pleased with just 3 field goals in the first half. He said, you see that white area down there, a rectangle with the diagonal white lines? That's the end zone. We want to get in that. On the other end of the ball, he said they've got to figure out how to stop the run. And, man, let me tell you what, he was fired up. He said, I'm excited because this half we have number 12, Paris Ford, back. Look out for him when they're on defense.
Maurice French on the receiving end of the first play of the second half for the Panthers. Picks up just a couple, but Pickett that's good for Pitt fans to see Pickett back in the game. He was shaken up in the first half, so he's back. So they get their leader on offense back. And as Kels said, Paris Ford, who sat in the first half because of a targeting call last week, will be back on defense. Pickett again to throw over the middle, incomplete. At the feet of Jacques Louis. So it'll bring up 3rd and long.
Another drop for this Pitt offense. It's a catchable ball. It was a little bit low, but that's one you have to come up with. And now it's going to be a 3rd and long. That's it. That right there was an opportunity to make a big play. You've seen Jacques Louis make some big catches previously in the first half. That one was a drop, and now at the bottom of the screen, you got a bunch set into the boundary. See if he looks that way or that single man up at the top of the field.
There's all kinds of time. Now it goes downfield for a receiver. Could not connect with Aaron Matthews. Covered well by the BC defense led by Tate Haynes. And it looks like the Eagles are going to force a punt.
Yeah, that's exactly what Boston College defensively needed to do coming out. They might have lost a little bit of their momentum at the end, giving up that 2-minute drive where Pitt was able to capitalize on a field goal, but good job defensively. Boston College coming out and stopping Pitt 3-and-out.
Christodoulou with a nice high punt, driving Levy back to his own 13. Tries to reverse his field before losing his footing, and BC will take over from their own 17.
Well, Boston College is going to run the ball. You see the safety in the box, and as Boston College runs up the middle, they need all those defenders in. Okay, they got some on that play. Now where's number 7? He's going to creep down even farther and get the tight end sneak right in behind him. This is what BC offense does so well. Takes those safeties, makes them accountable in the run game, and then pops that long pass in behind. That's how BC got their big score.
Well, that was Jazzy Stocker, the safety number 7 you pointed out. He was filling in for Paris Ford, who missed the first half because of that targeting call in the Virginia Tech game last week. Now he's back in, so we'll keep an eye on 12. He's got to be fresh and raring to go.
Yeah, and he's the best player on this defense. He's going to be a future NFL pick, and I'm sure he was in the locker room and during the first half watching and saying, oh my goodness, we got to cover these guys, we got to get down and tackle. He is a big hitter and effective for this Pitt defense. 2nd and 7 now for Boston College. Grosel under pressure, he'll be dropped. That's the first sack of the game for Pitt. And it's Jalen Twyman, his 11th of the year. Yeah, well, both of them were back there. You look at Jalen Twyman and Patrick Jones. They're 2 leaders on this defense. You got one guy here right in the middle and the other one coming off the edge. And you see them just converge on the quarterback. Good 2-hand swipe by Twyman. And then Jones on the other side. That's a teamwork tackle. You talk to these guys, they don't take credit for the sacks themselves. They love half sacks. That means their teammate was in on it with them.
That's 19 combined sacks for those 2 players. Grosel going to try and get it on his own. He won't get there. Picks up about half of it, but now Boston College will be forced to punt from deep in their own territory.
Yeah, they will, and right on cue, Paris Ford makes that 3rd down stop. He is going to be flying all over the field, and you know he has the excitement having to sit out that first half. But that's exactly right there, that series of plays for this Pittsburgh defense, that's going to give them a spark because they're getting back to doing what they do so well. And sloppy punt.
Bad punt by Carlson, and it takes an even worse bounce for Boston College. Pitt will take over from the BC 39 thanks to their defense pinning Boston College deep, finally getting to Grosel. Twyman and Jones setting up the Panthers in a good spot.
Donald's record.
But more importantly, it was the first sack of the game for this Pitt defense. They got all the momentum now in great field position.
And that Wildcat.
That's Vince Davis. He has room to run. 30. He's got great speed. 20, 10. They won't catch him. Pitt takes the lead.
Well, they would look for an explosion offensively for this Pitt team, and that was it right there. True freshman Vincent Davis did it himself. Good play design. He took a direct snap and took it to Bader.
Kessman extends the advantage to 3. And now they've got all the momentum, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and they came out in a formation. They have all the receivers up top, and that spreads out the Boston College defense. They bring the tight end back, lead blocker, and then just a hole right up the middle. Really well-designed play call. Just got numbers inside the box, and you can do that when you do not have a quarterback having to hand the ball off. It adds another blocker to the game, and good play design, good formation, and really good execution by Vincent Davis.
thought about at the end of that first half when they were able to get that field goal, even though they still trailed at the break. They were getting Paris Ford back in the second. They got their quarterback, Kenny Pickett, healthy and back out on the field, healthy enough. And now they're able to get the big explosive play after their first sack of the game, set up their offense. Pitt's rolling right now, and Boston College has got to figure something out. There's Levy from his own 7. Banged down to 25. BC offense will take the field. Tonight at 7 o'clock, rivalry week continues. You got to enunciate on that one. You got to enunciate. Otherwise, it comes out like Elmer Fudd. Rivalry week. North Carolina, awesome. NC State. Following us, our primetime matchup presented by Geico on the ACC network and on that ESPN app.
And how does Boston College answer after that big play given up by their defense? Can the offense come out and just a sustainable drive? I think they need to get back in rhythm. Deflated a little bit after that first drive offensively.
Grosel keeping it. He's got a lot of running room. Tripped up just by Paris Ford, but he's still able to pick up close to 10 yards. And he will pick up a first down on first down.
Great play call by Boston College. You fake it to A.J. Dillon, who everybody thinks is going to get the ball. Dennis Grosel takes it around the corner.
Dillon patiently stepping through that hole. He gets 4.
Pitt is just loading up the box, and this is a big boy football game. You're having that big offensive line versus all the Pitt defenders in the box. Running it over and over.
Dillon. Room. Breaks through a tackle. He might go. 30. 20. 10. He'll score. 61 yards for A.J. Dillon.
Big boy speed going around the edge. He's deceptively fast. He looks so large at 250 pounds, but when he gets in the open, no one can catch him. And he just works his way right through here. And the linemen up front do a really good job of pulling around and sealing the defenders inside.
That tackle had no shot.
No, look at those legs. I mean, those are tree trunks running down the field. It's very tough to tackle a tree with just an arm.
Now we're getting some offense. Boumeri with the PAT. Dillon. Touchdown number 38 on the ground for his career. 61 yards. Boston College back on top. Aflac trivia question of the day. Pitt has the 5th most Pro Football Hall of Famers. Who has the most? Look at the ball on his own 1-yard line. Shot for Jacques Louis, but he picks it up. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. Dropped at the 4. So Pitt gives up the lead. Now they're going to start from deep in their own territory. Travis Levy with a nice job on special teams, tracking down Jacques Louis.
Yeah, Travis Levy, he's the returner for Boston College, and he sees that ball hit the ground. He goes faster. Travis Levy actually played linebacker in a game, bowl game for BC. Good tackle there. Now Pitt's going to have to start within their own 5-yard line.
Levy comes up a little bit lame, and he's joined by Nolan Burgerson there. That's bad news for Boston College because Burgerson is essentially their starting safety, and they've been banged up all over the place from that safety spot. They've had to shuffle guys in and out in the secondary already at the end of this year. So Burgerson's a guy who's come to the fore and played really well over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and you talk about that shuffle at that safety position, and Connor Greco was a guy who showed early as a true freshman. Then he got hurt. You see he's out with an arm injury. John Lamont, he's been their stud inside backer. He's out. You see a couple of the tight ends they were relying on, and then obviously Anthony Brown, their starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, he's out. And
Josh DeBerry was a freshman who played a lot in the secondary. He's got an ankle injury. Nice job defensively shutting down Vince Davis after just a couple of yard gain that time. Vinny DePalma, who's filling in for John Lamont, making the tackle.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that sometimes with all these injuries, you get to see flashes from some of the younger guys. Vinny DePalma is one of those who's gotten a lot of playing time this year. It's going to serve him well later. And now let's see, it might be matched up in that slot versus a wide receiver.
Empty backfield. Pickett as a receiver wide open. Jacques Louis. Makes up for bumbling and fumbling the original kick and gets a 21-yard pitch and catch there for the first down.
And just as we were talking about Vinny De Palma, they spread the formation out and were working that middle linebacker position, and they're trying to get speed on that middle linebacker. Good job by Jacques Louis to find his way in the zone and settle down for Kenny Pickett as a target.
No Tayseer Mack tonight, has a leg injury. He didn't dress, so Jacques Louis getting some more love from Pickett, who's flushed out of the pocket here. He's going to look to keep it himself, get what he can before De Palma runs him out of bounds. He just gets a couple.
Boston College is covering well in the back end. They sent pressure and they sent 6 guys, so they're going to put their corners out on islands. Really good job by Boston College's secondary to stay with their receivers late in the down as the scramble happens. This will be a big play here.
They marked him out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Take it back to pass over the middle. Complete to Greg. Tight end stays on his feet. And tackled about the 46, but Greg tough to bring down. 19 yards on the completion. Greg lets everybody know, yeah, it's another first down.
We're starting to see a tendency on this drive. That middle part of the field, in between the hashes, is where Boston College is weak with John Lamont out. See if they continue to go back to that, try to get some completions, move the chains.
Vincent Davis up the middle. Good run for a little back. Carrying Isaiah McDuffie. Vincent Davis is 5'8", 170 pounds. Little guy out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with a nice run on first down.
Yeah, Boston College has his linebackers up in the middle, and they drop out, leaving a huge gap up front. That's always the problem with showing linebackers in those A gaps. If they do run the ball straight up the middle, they're going to gain some yards.
9 yards on first down. Vincent Davis converts, move the chains.
Pittsburgh is doing a good job of settling down. They're mixing the run in with the pass a lot more on this drive than they did in the first half. Now they're spreading it out empty, giving multiple formations for the pieces to defend.
Quickly out to Davis. Sebastian coming up and making the stop. No gain on the play.
Yeah, the no gain doesn't even hurt you offensively. Yes, you want to pick up yards, but you're showing multiple formations, getting Boston College to run, try to tire out this thin Boston College defense.
And empty backfield for Pickett. This time on the outside, beautiful catch by French. Just out of bounds. He snagged that with one arm.
Oh, that was absolutely ridiculous. He's smiling because he knows it was ridiculous, but he just reaches out and grabs that tip of the ball with one hand. Defenders draped all over him. Tell he's happy to be back on the field.
Very manageable third down. Pickett over the middle, incomplete. Almost had Matthews, just couldn't quite hang on. Tate Haynes on the coverage.
Yeah, Tate Haynes is filling in at that slot nickel safety position with so many injuries. He's good job of getting his hand on the ball and knocking it out. 4th down, and the offense is staying on the field.
About a 53-yard kick from here. Pickett, pressure comes up the middle, gets rid of it, complete for the first. That's Maurice French again.
They are starting to isolate Boston College defensively, taking a crossing route which takes the slot nickel away, and then just too much cushion given up in the back end by Jamin Muse.
Do you like the way Pickett just adjusted that pocket a little bit to the right to give him that extra second?
Yeah, that's that maturity, working in the pocket. You don't have to scramble every time.
That's intercepted.
Oh, boy.
Picked off easily by Jamin Moose, and he has some room to run. Out beyond the 40 to the 43-yard line. Moose was waiting for that one. The Pitt drive is completely stifled. Jamin Moose, the sophomore, his first interception of the year. Boston College now back in business here in Pittsburgh.
top of your screen, and this route comes up. It's supposed to turn in. You see the two high safeties. You break off that post route into a dig. The wide receiver just does not do that, and that's what caused the interception. The ball is thrown in the right spot, but miscommunication between the quarterback and wide receiver leads to the interception. Yeah, and look at them after the play. You see right here, you're supposed to cut it in. Too high safety, you got to cut it in. And yeah, that's a true freshman wide receiver in Jared Wayne. And those are the types of things you learn from, but it's tough to learn in that way where you give up interceptions.
Boston College now hammering away, this time with David Bailey. After A.J. Dillon had the long touchdown run on the last Eagle possession, going with Bailey, 240-pound back.
And before you know it, it's third down again. Time for this defense to let loose.
Let's see what BC decides to do. Grossel's going to throw it. Madrizi with the catch and the first down.
And really good job. Boston College is getting in all these tight bunch formations, receivers really close together, and that sometimes forces a predominantly man defense to play more zone, and they're finding those spots in the zone. Good job delivering it by Grossell.
Dillon. Still on his feet. Still on his feet, moving the pile. 11 yards. He'll move the chains again.
Offensive linemen love that when they can get the extra shoves at the end of the play, pick up a couple yards for their back. You saw another bunch set by Steve Adazio. He studied the Kansas City Chiefs and what Andy Reid does there, and he just loves the bunch sets. He's incorporated that into his offense this year more than in the past. You saw there, they can pass out of it and run.
Over 200 yards rushing for BC against a defense that gives up just 93 a game during the season. Dillon. Not much doing on the right side. He'll get a yard. Jalen Twyman says enough's enough.
Another man down.
This is a Pitt player.
Injury timeout.
We'll get you caught up on Amir Watts when we come back.
Thank you.
Let's answer our Aflac trivia question. Pitt has 8 Pro Football Hall of Famers, tied for the fifth most of any team. Who has the most? What do you think, Mark?
Notre Dame. They are.
That's always the first answer. If you don't know exactly, you got to guess Notre Dame. 13 for the Irish.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, who handled this Boston College team pretty handily last week. BC playing with renewed determination. Zay Flowers now. He's explosive when he gets the ball in his hands. Dances and couldn't quite dance out of his own shoes that time. Picked up just about 4 yards on the play. And now, again, when he gets the ball in his hands, it's the most exciting 4 yards you'll see.
Yeah, you don't need to look at the number again. I mean, you just see that little bit different thing that he has, that ability to really make guys miss explosive plays. And BC's in that bunch set again.
Third down. Dillon just muscles his way for a couple. Harris Ford was there out of that safety spot to bring him down. Now an interesting decision for Coach Adazio.
Yeah,
it's about a 42-yard kick from here.
Yeah, I don't see anybody coming off the sidelines.
4th down and 4. They've already been able to convert on a 4th down earlier in this game, and now it looks like they're going to try another one. Crowd getting into it here. A.J. Dillon to Grossell's right. Grossell's going to pass, has a receiver open, and it's Hunter Long. First down for BC. The tight end again.
You hear the coaches, good throw, good catch. It was a good throw, good catch, but really good play call again. They keep on getting in these bunch sets, spraying out the tight ends across the field, and Dennis Grossell just keeps picking off this Pitt defense for first downs.
Now Bailey on the pitch. He's going to want to throw it. No, he decides to keep it. Gets what he can. That's pretty much back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we saw a very similar play earlier in the season against Wake Forest, and Boston College is just pitching it out, trying to get someone downfield. Benny Glines gets tripped up, number 19, so he's not able to find his way behind the defense. Smart play to tuck it and get what he can.
Second down and 10 for BC. Clock winding. Inside 2.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Bailey, full head of steam, just crashes into that defensive front, led by Haba Baldonado, young man out of Italy. Not exactly, Western Pennsylvania, hotbed of high school talent. Italy, not so much, but they found Haba.
You don't get a ton of guys from Rome. He played his high school ball in Florida, Clearwater Academy, but he's a guy that's been improving every single week for this Pitt defense. He adds some depth, and as a redshirt freshman, he's a guy who's going to be here as a big player for a long time. And now BC has a big third down. They're spreading it out in empty sets. You haven't seen a ton of that today.
11th play of this drive. Rossell's going to try and keep it himself. Slips one tackle, rolls out of another, but can't get much. Maybe 2 yards.
Well, we've seen earlier, Pitt went empty. Boston College brought pressure, got home. Now this time, vice versa. Boston College goes empty, and right up the middle, you see the center has to make a choice. Alec Lindstrom chooses the most dangerous threat, but Brightwell gets in the backfield for the sack.
So now Bumeri will attempt a 30-yard field goal. He's already made 2 on the day. Given 3 right down the middle. So a part of Boston College's game that has really struggled all season long, the kicking game last couple of seasons. And yeah, Dazio knows that's big. He might need that toward the end of this game. That kicking game has played very well for him today. ACC Championship next Saturday. We'll have full pregame coverage from Charlotte, as well as our special Sky Cam angle of the game. Packer and Durham going to get you started at 4 Eastern. Then the Huddle crew takes you up to game time, and at 7:30, we'll take you inside the game, just above the field, with Sky Cam. It's also available on the ESPN app. Virginia and Clemson next Saturday. From Charlotte, Mark and I will be on hand. It'll be a full cast of characters down there.
We're gonna have all the knuckleheads.
Yeah.
All the knuckleheads down there just causing trouble. Charlotte better get ready. ACC Network's coming to town. Good job by that man, Grossell. Getting some big passes, extending the drive. Get some points on the board.
Fair catch made by Shockey Jacques Louis. Boston College defense, much maligned all season long. They've played really well tonight.
Gosh, they really haven't. They started off the right way. You're creating extra opportunities for your offense with turnovers, capitalizing off the turnovers, and then getting pressure on the quarterback. Steve Adazio wanted to get Kenny Pickett off his spot, make him uncomfortable. That leads to turnovers, like that last interception. Jamin Musin. College continuously has gotten it done on the defensive side of the ball.
3 turnovers, 4 sacks. Not something we've seen a lot of this year with this BC defense. Wildcat. That's Wayne, the freshman, isn't going to go anywhere. He's brought down for a loss.
Yeah, he's brought down for a loss on the play. And Mark Whipple's getting back to this Wildcat offense. He's got the back in the backfield taking the shotgun snaps. It was very successful for him against Miami earlier in the season. Went away from it a little bit last week against Virginia Tech. And you're seeing right now the confidence they're having running the ball with that. That one was stopped for a loss, but the big touchdown on the last drive.
Another penalty going to move Pitt back 5 yards.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Tight end, Nakia Griffin-Stewart, just a little over anxious.
We talked to Narduzzi about all those penalties, and he said some of them are cost of doing business. I don't never want to take the aggressiveness away from my team, but it's the mental mistakes like the false start, the pre-snap penalties that really hurt. Had a lot of them today.
4 false start penalties today against the Panthers. Pickett over the middle. That's Jacques Louis. Nice form tackle by Tate
That is the
Haynes.
end of the third quarter.
That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Entertaining quarter of football. Boston College had the lead at the half. Pitt came storming back to retake it. Then that man, A.J. Dillon, taking it the distance. Eagle. It's senior day. They want to send their seniors out in style and pick up win number 8. They got a big third down here to start the fourth quarter. Pickett, chased, still on his feet. Now gets rid of it. Tight window, but gets it to Jared Wayne, and he's going to pick up the first down.
Are you kidding me? Kenny Pickett. Watch him move in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, eyes up, downfield, finds his open receiver, just throws an absolute dart. That pocket manipulation by Kenny Pickett, that'll take him to the next level.
Pressure coming. Pickett gets rid of it to Wayne again. And that's 8 yards on first down. These two are starting to feel a little bit here with, again, to remind everybody, Taysir Mack got 62 catches on the season coming in. Didn't dress today because of a leg injury. So true freshman out of Canada, Jared Wayne. He only had 9 catches coming in. He's been a big part of this team, 5 on the day. Davis. It's football. Again, another big fumble, and BC recovers.
We got it!
Recovered by Boston College. First down.
Trafa again comes out of the pile with the football. That's 4 turnovers on the day for Pitt.
And great job by Brandon Barlow, number 44. He's on the edge of the screen, and watch when the play's away, the tight end pulls around, he folds back in. It's that fold back inside that jars this ball loose right there. Big hit. Good job by Boston College swarming to the ball. Kind of hitting from the left and the right. Tate Haynes and Brandon Barlow, huge, huge play. And Boston College gets the ball again in Pitt territory. Just look at those numbers. Sacks, I mean, to me, 12 sacks all year for this game. That's impressive.
Rossell, the fake to Dillon. He's going to go up top. He's got to receive it. Kobe White and just overshoots him.
Missed that opportunity there. You have a guy open down the field. He knows it. I love it when guys say, yeah, my bad. And pretty much everybody in the stadium knows that, but taking some ownership.
Kobe White had to hustle back to get on the right side of scrimmage. He does. Now the give to Dillon. He just gets what he can. Give him a couple of yards right into the teeth of that defense. Hava was there to make the stop. Mentioned how great this Pitt defense was coming in against the run. Just under 93 yards a game, 6th in FBS, over 200 today to BC.
Yeah, an incredible number. The next most was against Penn State earlier in the year, and BC's blown that away.
Now on third down, Rossell pump fakes. Now hits his receiver. That's Kobe White. First down, Eagles.
It's been interesting. Pitt has continuously played more zone coverage. They're trying to get the safeties down in the box. A good job by this Boston College offensive line. Pitt's defensive backs aren't used to having to cover for this long. They're so used to getting pressure on the quarterback right away. Good job by BC's O-line protecting their quarterback.
Spins away from the tackle. He's in trouble here, though. He'll be brought down for a loss.
Oh boy, well, Paris Ford's back, and he decides, I'm just gonna blitz right up the middle. Number 12 coming to the backfield. I can't tell you how impressive that footwork is by number 2, A.J. Dillon. We mention all the time the power, but see that agility to avoid that block.
Now the reverse. That's White. Has some room. Just gets on the hip of his blocker and picks up about 7 yards. We had big old number 64, Ben Petrula, out there, so he picked up what he could, make it third management.
And you've seen a couple, like 2 special plays from Boston College. You've seen the reverse, you've seen the halfback pass almost. Gotten away from that a little bit last year. That was a staple of the Scott Leffler offense last year, but Mike Pajakian sprinkling it in now and then. He got some big plays. This is a big play needed right here in third down.
Maybe 2-down territory. And Adazio wants to talk things over. He's going to take a timeout. First timeout of the half.
Timeout. Boston College. First charge of the half.
You were right about it being a big play, and Coach Adazio says, let's talk things over.
Back one of Pitt's defensive leaders, Paris Ford. They just got him back here in the second half. He's now in the medical tent after he made a play just 2 plays ago. Immediately checked himself out of the game, took his helmet off, and his left arm was hanging kind of funny. He's been on the sidelines, just walked into the tent where they are checking out that left arm. We'll see if he's able to come back out and play.
All right, thanks, Kels. Big third down here for this Pitt defense to get off the field. They're going to have to do it without Paris Ford. Grossel. Flowers, look at that move. Inside the 20, 15, stays in bounds. Brought down at about the 11. That's 19 yards for Zay Flowers.
Yeah, talked about his quickness. Good play design, getting the blockers out in front. But that's that old school stanky leg. Gave him the stanky leg on that one. Faked him out inside. That Phil Campbell grasping at air.
First down for the Eagles. Dillon. Rolling for about 3. Patrick Jones there with a gaggle of Panthers to make the stop.
Great word, gaggle.
Thanks. Well, you saw big old John Phillips, graduate student out of Phoenix, this offensive line. They have done yeoman's work tonight. A.J. Dillon gets all the headlines, but against this defense to pave the way for coming close to 250 yards now. Dillon bounces it. Now puts his shoulder down. Gets a couple. It might be slow to come up too. That was a hard hit.
Yeah, hard hit. DeMar Hamlin came downhill from that safety position.
And a Pitt Panther is down. This is becoming a little bit of a battle of attrition here in the fourth quarter as these two teams are hammering each other. Devin Danielson, will check on him. And he has been the workhorse for this BC team for the last 3 years, and tonight, no different.
Yeah, and he's doing it on the ground, following these big blockers. Number 77, Zion Johnson, with the big block, but sometimes he just does it himself. Look at all these yards after contact. He's 4th in the nation with 832 yards after first contact. You saw that strength there and then the speed to burst into the end zone. And this is against a top defense in the country in stopping the run. He's struggled when he's played teams like that, Clemson, Notre Dame, in the past, but he is not struggling today.
He's going to take a little bit of a breather here on 3rd and 5. David Bailey in the backfield. Glines now also in the backfield. We'll get a reverse. Kobe White wanted to throw it, looked like, staying on his feet, but he won't get to the marker. Looked like he had an inkling to pass it, but he didn't have anybody open in the end zone, so he kept it.
Yeah,
Desmond Alexander making the stop.
He's trying to hit number 6, Dennis Grossell, trying to leak out of the backfield. But Pitt does a good job of honoring Grossell as a receiver. Good job closing. Once again, DeMar Hamlin closing down, making a big tackle, stopping BC and forcing another field goal.
Aaron Bumeri is going to come in to attempt his 4th field goal. He's made his first 3. This is 22 yards. And Bumeri nails it. He only had 8 field goals all year coming into this game, and he's kicked 4. So Boston College extends their lead to 10. Again, a reminder, BC playing for everything, really. Their whole season on the line tonight. If they win another bowl, if they lose, they are not eligible, and this will conclude their year. And we were just talking to the assistants, most notably defensive coordinator Bill Sheridan, about how important it is to go to a bowl game. You just get like a second spring practice leading into next year.
Yeah, and it's so important, especially on that defensive side of the ball. You get so many young guys, so many first-time starters on this defense after losing so many guys last year to the NFL, to graduation. But they have a base built. They have guys with playing experience. And if they can get those extra 15 practices leading up to that bowl game, the first 10 of those are going to be developmental, getting these young guys extra reps.
And that's what's on the line for the next 9 minutes and 41 seconds for this BC team. Longman to kick off, high and short. Fair catch made once again by Shockey Jacques Louis, and Pitt will take over offensively. turnovers have been the big bugaboo for the Panthers today.
And Mark Whipple has to get his offense going, trying to get them to be consistent. You see flashes. It's been this way all year. You see flashes of Kenny Pickett. You see flashes of the wide receivers, Jared Wayne, but then you see miscues and miscommunication leading to some turnovers, and BC has capitalized on all of those.
Pickett out here to Rashad Wheeler. He doesn't get involved in the offense very much other than a blocker. He was sort of the safety valve, and now he's shaken up a little bit on the play. He looks like a blocker.
And he's trying to stay in the game.
And he's going to go down. And they're going to have to call a timeout here for an injury to look at Rashad Wheeler. That's his first catch of the year. There's Coach Whipple, offensive coordinator, first year here on Coach Narduzzi's staff.
And you talk about that fullback position for Pittsburgh. A lot's made of Quadre Olison and Darren Hall, who left last year. Both had 1,000 yards on the ground. But really a guy that the coaches talked about that was a big difference maker was the fullback, George Aston, who is not there anymore. He was that leader in the huddle. He was the guy that could make a big hit, spring a big run free. And that fullback position is someone that they've been trying to replace a little bit. Mark Whipple doesn't use a ton of it in his offense, but when he does, he likes to be effective right there, swinging it out on the check down, as you said, to his fullback in the flat.
2nd down and 7, clock winding inside of 9 minutes of this 4th quarter. Pickett over the middle, complete. Gets it to Jacques Louis, and he'll be short of the 1st down, but 3rd down and manageable for this offense.
And Tate Haynes was on that tackle. Boston College changed it up. They went man-to-man. Tate Haynes did a good job of following his receiver all the way across the field, but now a 3rd down and short. BC's back in zone now.
Take it quickly. Tried to get to his tailback out of the backfield. Now sprinting right. Jacques Louis was able to make the catch, and that's going to move the chains. Nice job by Pickett to keep that play alive.
Well, I've been impressed with Pickett. He's able to not panic in the backfield. You see that? See how he's able to move and find scramble lanes, and then he sees his mismatch, the wide receiver on a linebacker, gets to his receiver for 1st down.
Davis spinning out of the initial tackle, but can't get far. They need DePalma there to make the stop. Give him maybe a yard. Bryce Moraes was also on the tackle.
You see a lot of guys on Boston College defense with their hands on their hips. Pitt's going fast now, getting a lot of plays in, tiring out this Boston College front.
Pickett over the middle. That was also looked like a little bit of a miscommunication between he and Will Gragg as tight end.
Yeah, and he's trying to guide him. Sometimes they have these read pass routes, and that's what a base of Mark Whipple's offense is. The wide receivers need to read the coverage as they go down the field, whether it's single high, 2 high safeties. And you've seen a couple times the miscommunication between the wide receiver just not seeing the same thing as the quarterback, leading to errant throws.
You saw Whipple and Gragg having a word when Gragg came out. 3rd down and 9 for the Panthers. Pressure coming from BC. Pickett gets rid of it. 1st down. That's Jared Wayne, who's having a career night and a very short career so far with Pitt. He's been called on with Mack being injured, and he's answered the call.
Yeah, he has answered the call. He's answered it well. And that bigger guy, effective over the middle of the field. Boston College brought pressure, and Pickett did a good job hanging in the pocket, delivering to his big receiver down the field.
3rd or 5th, rather, 300-yard passing game for Pickett on the year. That's French. Nice move to get free. Now he steps out of bounds after a big pickup. Tate Haynes was there to force him out, but it's a 1st down. Now Pitt's moving.
Yeah, and they're moving the ball down the field, gaining some momentum. You see the burst that guys like French have. Once the ball gets in his hands, he can make guys miss. Boston College has missed so many tackles all year. They've done a pretty good job tonight.
Pickett to throw again. BC bringing pressure on the edge. He runs away from it. It's Aaron Matthews for about 7 yards.
And one of the things that's happening right now, Boston College is sending some pressure. Pitt's finding the open zone, but a lot of clock is ticking down. 2 scores Pitt needs to tie this game. And a lot of time on the clock.
Pressure up the middle. Now Pickett flushed. He's just going to throw this one away.
It almost seems like Boston College is waiting for Pitt to make a mistake. Good job by Pickett there, not trying to force the ball downfield. This is a 3rd and manageable. They've used a lot of crossing routes on this 3rd and short. Try to get a guy coming from the boundary across to the big field. Run away from Boston College linebackers and see what they draw up here.
Third down and 4. Pickett's going to try and keep it. Using Davis as his lead blocker. He falls forward, but he won't pick up the first down. He's close. Isaiah McDuffie was there to bring him down. Now 4th and 2 here. You got an outstanding kicker. You need 2 scores. What do you do here?
Well, I think you want to take the points. I would rather kick the field goal here, know I got the points, and then have another opportunity. My defense has been so good all year, regardless of what has happened up to this point in the game. You got to have confidence in your defense to give the ball back.
Certainly is no gimme. It's 43 yards for Alex Kessman. 7 50-plus field goals in his career. No problems for Kessman. And they've used 4 takeaways to forge the lead early and to get the lead back here in the second half after Pitt made a big charge.
Yeah, we knew that was going to be the most important stat of the game. Whether BC could run the ball or not, it's proved to be that so far in this game as it leaves them up 7.
Travis Levy takes a knee in the end zone. Boston College now with just under 5.5 to play. We'll look to run this clock out, and we're going to see obviously a handful of Dillon and Bailey, but Pitt expects that too.
Yeah, no, they do. And if I'm Steve Adazio right now, I'm talking to my offense and saying, don't even look at the clock. Don't even look at the time on the board. Just do what you've been doing all game, and things will work out. The last thing you want to do is get super conservative on offense just to try to turn down the clock, go 3 and out, and give the hot Pitt team another chance.
Dillon tries to add to his 131, and he does. Rolls close to another first down, and he's going to pick one up. Another 10 yards for A.J. Dillon.
Really not enough can be said about A.J. Dillon and what he's done tonight, but also what he's meant to this offense throughout the season. He, as we said, he carries the bulk of the yards for this team behind that really good offensive line for Boston College. They are running some clock out. Now they got a first down.
Again. 4 yards. Jazzy Stocker there to make the stop.
So impressed with this offensive line. They've been healthy really all year, but look at Zion Johnson on the left side. He's able to pin the blitz, and he takes 2 guys. As that blitz comes through, he turns back and blocks 2 men. That leads A.J. Dillon up the hole. This offensive line has been the one area that's been healthy all year, and it shows that they're able to work together to make blocks like that.
Rossell just working that play clock down. Dillon gets 3 more. It'll bring up a huge 3rd down.
Well, at this point, you start to think about what we talked earlier about the importance of this game. How important this game is for Boston College, and relatively less important for Pittsburgh. But right now, you want to see Pittsburgh's defense really stand up. Defensively, you just hate being run all over in this 4-minute drive trying to run out the clock. This is a big 3rd down defensively for Pittsburgh.
Give to Dillon. Crashes through that line. He's going to be close to a first down, and he's going to pick it up. Jalen Twyman was there. That was a collision.
He was one-on-one in the hole with Jazzy Stocker, the fifth-year senior, 6'2", 190 pounds versus 6 foot 250, and that's what 250 looks like coming at you. A.J. Dillon.
3:10 left to go in this game. A.J. Dillon just helped the Seagulls by picking up a big first down, and he's 35 yards away now from tying Amos Lawrence for third all-time in ACC history in terms of career rushing yards. Great half shirt and face mask on Amos Lawrence.
That's fantastic.
You can't say enough about that. And you can't say enough about this guy's career.
Yeah, and he's done it in 3 years. So impressive.
Just lowers his shoulder again. This BC is trying to run out the clock. He just powers for 3-4 yards. 3-4 yards isn't going to get it done for Pitt now. And he just carries Jazzy Stocker for 2 or 3 yards.
Second charge timeout of this half.
Pitt's taking their second timeout. They'll have 1 remaining. Don't forget, coming up following us, Rivalry Week continues. North Carolina, you saw Ted Brown and Amos Lawrence, the first and third, respectively, all-time rushers in the ACC from North Carolina and NC State. They'll square off tonight in our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. It's also available on the ESPN app. Interesting day in the ACC. It's a very disappointing day for Louisville. They went to Kentucky and got beaten down by the Kentucky Wildcats.
Absolutely shellacked.
Tech also got hammered by their in-state rivals, Georgia, as you would expect. Georgia now is on a collision course with LSU in the SEC championship game next week. Syracuse and Wake Forest had a wild finish. Highlights of that one coming up after our game. Second down here for Boston College. Dillon, stiff arm, stays on his feet, getting close to a first down and picks it up.
That's out of control. I mean, it's just, I don't know how you stop him. I mean, a couple missed blocks up front. You see Kylon Johnson, number 28, has a free tackle with the stiff arm. And then you just, I mean, look at that will.
Their third and final timeout of this half.
Look at that coach on the sideline. That looks like Cotter in the weight room. Going absolutely mental.
Without the great stash. That man on the right, by the way, Coach Adazio said was awesome. I wouldn't even say what he said in terms of how he described the mustache, but he really liked it.
No, there was inspiring for him. I mean, he just shaved his mustache.
Yeah.
And then to see someone walk into that meeting room with just a fantastic mustache like you have.
Thanks. He was depressed. He wished he still had one. Dazio now just firing up his troops. Just under 3 minutes left to go in this one. 7-point lead for BC. Dillon now just impressive because everybody knew he was getting the football all game long. And a team that had stopped the run all year couldn't do anything to stop him today. Still on his feet, still churning, still picking up 5 yards.
There's certain things in the game of football that just have the ultimate satisfaction. And for an offensive line to be put in a situation where you can march down the field in what they call a 4-minute drive, trying to run out the clock and just continuously getting positive yards and picking up first downs on the ground. It's one of the best feelings an offensive lineman can feel.
Clock continues to wind down, now to 2 minutes. Dillon powering his way, another first down. That's going to salt this one away. Pitt out of timeouts. Clock will stop temporarily to move the chains, and then the officials will roll it. Boston College, now they can smell it. Their season is going to continue. W here, they're bowl eligible. Steve Adazio has been, let's just face it, he's been on the hot seat. A lot of talk in Chestnut Hill about whether it was time to make a change.
Yeah, and you read the newspapers and you see a lot of people wondering whether it was Steve Adazio's time, whether he could get this year's team over the hump, whether you could have versatility on offense, whether the defense could do anything. Well, a lot of questions were answered today, if nothing more than just the heart of this team and the attitude he brings and the fight he brings to this organization. And he wants them to, I love that. He says, buckle your chin straps up and finish. I mean, that's just a hard-nosed coach. Don't unbuckle your chin strap until the game is over. Still might get popped in the mouth. Safety first. That's what he's trying to preach to this team is, if you do something, let's have a purpose in what we do. Let's finish the right way. Big game by his defense. Big game by his bell cow, A.J. Dillon. We'll find out a lot more in the next 24, 48 hours on Steve Adazio's future at the Heights. But there's no denying the consistency that he's brought to this Boston College team. Continuously in that 7-win, 6-win range. Continuously going to bowl games, developing this team. No matter what happens next year, this Boston College team has a foundation moving forward.
One final snap for Dennis Grosel, and the Eagles come into Pittsburgh and spring the upset. They get win number 6 on the season, and they are now bowl eligible. The 9th team rather out of the ACC to become bowl eligible. We'll see if North Carolina can make it 10 later on in just a few moments when they take on NC State. But the two coaches embracing here at midfield, a lot of respect, mutual respect between coaches Narduzzi and Adazio. And for the 6th time in 7 years, Boston College is bowl eligible. An impressive performance today by both the defense and by this running game for the Eagles.
Yeah, and that man right there, A.J. Dillon, you know, we'll have at least one more game in that maroon and gold for him. See what his future's like after this season, whether he decides to go play at the next level or return to Boston College for another year.
Finished with 178